Brought to you by Musufing of Musukando Enterprise. I'm so sick and tired of hearing the same blasted argument whenever I phone my eldest brother in Jamaica. God! Yeah, Delbert, when you were 3, Mum left you in Jamaica, but she didn't leave you in a bloody gully with a pack of wild dogs, did she? No! She left you with our gran and me Auntie Clovis, her older sister, who loved and cared for you like you were one of her own. When is he going to get that? Mum was 17 when she had our Delbert. 17! She never really told us about Del's dad, and you didn't ask in those days, and we, of course, didn't ask her. But yes, she got pregnant. Not the first, nor the last. I once overheard Mum say in one of them big people conversations when we were kids, her mum, our gran, went ballistic when she heard that Mum was pregnant. And she said, "So Darret, I breed, Darret. I belly you are bringing ya almighty to the tomb." After my gran stopped clutching for God in the heavens, she ran outside to the yard to brook a twig off the tamarind tree, stripped it clean to beat Mum with, after she caught her running scared around the little lean-foot dining table in their 2-room house in Jamaica. Can you imagine? So when it happened, Mum's family saw this as her chance to make a clean start. It was the 60s and Britain was calling for people to come. So Mum came. It couldn't have been easy for her to leave our Delbert. Come on. But she did what she had to do. And my dad sent for her. It's never easy for a man to take on a woman when she's got a child for somebody else. It was 1963, for God's sake. And when our dad said he'd marry Mum, it was a second chance for her, so she grabbed at it. Which woman wouldn't? I don't know if she asked Dad if she could send for Delbert, but Mum had just turned 20 when she arrived in Britain. I've seen those pictures, old film reels of people arriving off the boat looking so stush with their hats, gloves, tailored dresses and suits, clutching their suitcases in the cold wind. Gosh! Mum and Dad got married down in London and settled eventually here in Leeds. Then one by one, out popped Clive Jr., Daddy's twin, our Shirley, Tanya, me and Donovan. Talk about having their hands full. In them days it wasn't easy and they were both working so hard. One thing our Del will never understand is how hard it was. A black family coming up in the 60s and 70s in Britain with 5 kids to raise. I remember going to the post office with Mum, and she would send letters and postal orders to Auntie Clovis, Gran and Delbert. Christmas time! Huh? Christmas time, she would put together packages, barrels, clothes, school shoes, soap, books, you name it, all in a barrel to send to Jamaica. What do you call that then? Oh yes, and on top of that, we always knew we had an older brother. Mum never kept Del from us. His big afro photo with him standing next to a plant was there right next to our school photos on top of the radiogram. We've been to Jamaica a few times now. I met Big Brother Delbert for the first time when I was 18 in 1988. Yes. He was a bit strange when we met. My gran had died by then, and Auntie Clovis, her husband, the youngest of their 3 kids and Del were living in the family house, which had been extended to a 4-bedroom. That trip, it was Mum, Dad, Tanya and me. I'll never forget. When we got out of my uncle's car, I immediately recognised my brother from his photos, and of course Mum's features from his nose up. I got out of the car, and he just looked at us. 11 years older than me, dressed in a tight Union Jack t-shirt with his muscles popping out of it. Auntie Clovis said, "Go hug up your sisters then now, and your mother, and shake hand with your stepfather before you take in the suitcases." Mum squealed as she ran to greet her sister. It's freaking 2000 and odd. Delbert is over 60 years old, and he's still harping on about, "Me mother never want me. She left me. Why she never send for me? All I uno get everything." On and on and on. I can't bloody stand it. When is he going to grow up and stop talking like he's a bloody baby who was abandoned in the woods? Brought to you by Musufing of Musukando Enterprise.